What we're doing today is we're doing a review of the brand new Beretta PX4 Compact Carry. It's kind of windy, so hopefully you can hear me. Anyways, but I wanted to compare it to something. It's kind of hard to know how good of a trigger pull you have or how good the accuracy is unless you have something to compare it to. So we have one other 9mm, which is the Bersa BP9CC, which I love this little gun. It's got a great trigger pull to it. And I have another double single action Beretta, which is the 96D Brigadier. It was my brother's service weapon when he was Shelby County deputy. So those are the two guns we're going to be basically using to compare the new Beretta Compact Carry to as far as feel, trigger pull, and accuracy. So right now I have one camera zoomed up onto target number one. Target number one, we're going to be shooting with the Bersa 9mm. I'm going to do my very best. We're at about 20 foot from the target because most engagements and self-defense are going to be at 20 foot or less. And so I'm going to do my very best to shoot as accurately as possible, even though it is very windy today, on that first target. Then we're going to do the new Beretta Compact Carry on target 2, and then we'll do the other Beretta I have, the double single action 40 caliber, into target 3. So here we go, target 1. Alright, that was interesting. My front sight, I don't know if you can see it, actually my front dot blew out. In all honesty though, I don't know if you can see it here either, it's probably focused way out there, but my front dot, as I was shooting about 2 or 3 rounds into it, blew out. Now I had some of that glow paint in there. Actually, I've got new sights on order for this gun anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but that did kind of mess up my shooting there for a minute. I had to kind of readjust because it was all blacked out on me. But anyway, that's our first one. All right, now we've got the new gun, and these are all being shot with I want to say it's 115 Winchester 9mm Luger 115 grain. Full metal jacket on both the Bersa 9mm and the new Beretta Compact Carry 9mm. Our third gun is not a 9mm because I didn't have another 9mm, but it is another Beretta double single action 40 caliber. But anyways, now we're going to move on to the second target. So let me get that lined up here. Target number 2. And let's see how we do on target number 2 at about 20 foot. I've got more rounds in here, but just so we can do an even comparison, I'm going to leave it at 9 and 9, or I think it was 9 on the Bersa, 8 plus 1. So we're going to leave it 9 and 9, just so we have an even comparison. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the other gun. I can tell you the recoil off of the Compact Carry is not nearly as much. It's less recoil than the little Bersa. They both feel really good, actually, just different. They feel different, but they both feel really good. And I would almost say equally as good. The only thing I'd say I like better about the Beretta than the Bersa is much less recoil. But let's go ahead and do the other 40 caliber. All right, now we have the Beretta. Looks like a 92, but it's actually a 96D Brigadier model. It's got a hammer, but it's shaved off completely. This is a service version of the weapon, so we're going to see how it goes. I've actually got a laser on this one, so we're going to see what we look like when we've actually, I'm going to do it without the laser for right now, just so it's a more equal comparison. Alright, well, as you can see between the three, or maybe you can or maybe you can't, we'll actually go up and take a quick look at them up close and personal. Bersa BP9CC 9mm, the Beretta PX4 Compact Carry 9mm, 40 caliber, the Brigadier. So, I can tell you this, out of the three guns, you definitely want to, or I definitely use this speed loader on the magazine for the Beretta Compact Carry, because they are kind of stiff, but they're brand new. The Bersa, when I got the BP9CC, it was not stiff at all. They just went right down all the way. But it's a single stack. It only holds, I think, 8 in the mag, one in the chamber. These hold 15. It's double stack, one in the chamber. But you will find this little joker handy when loading up the magazine for the new Beretta. Got one in there. Alright, so we're going to once again start with the Bersa, do a target, then the Beretta, 20 feet. Alright, so I don't think we recorded that, but you can see the shots on target number 2. There, second from the left. We just put 8 or 9 more rounds, I think 9 more rounds from the Bersa into target. Now we're going to do the new guy on target number 4. Tell you, it's a very short reset when it goes to a single action. Very smooth, very soft, light trigger pull. Maybe even lighter than the Bersa, which is hard to believe. What, I love having 16 rounds in a in a gun. Now we're going to go back to the 40 caliber. This time we're going to turn on the laser. That laser's off.
set that laser.
Alright, so in summation, I just wanted to kind of give a little conclusion after today's shooting. First of all, really enjoyed this gun. It was fun to shoot. It felt great in the hand. The ergonomics, the comfort. All in all, if I could only pick one of these guns to shoot at the range all day long, I would have to say that I would pick this. And I don't think I'm saying that just because it's my newest gun right now. I think I'm saying that because overall, I mean, all these guns are comfortable in the hand. But this has got the most, this holds the most rounds. Number one, you get 16 rounds with this one, or you get 9 with this one, and you get, I want to say 11 or 12 with this one. So that's one reason. But I think all in all, it's just, it's a great gun. It's a great shooter. Couple of things. This gun I brought because obviously it's another Beretta and it's a double action. I may have said in the video that this was a double and a single action. If I said that, I misspoke. It's double action only. I don't know what the trigger pull weight is, but from the research I did online to find out, because this is a 96D Brigadier model, it was a service weapon. And from the research I can find, the trigger pull on this particular model is around 9 pounds. I can tell you, after shooting today, I went and I held this gun and this gun side by side and just dry fired them in double action only several times. And I can tell you, they feel identical to me. I really don't feel any difference. 9 pounds may sound like a lot, but it's very smooth. It's very consistent pull all the way through, and I don't think it's too heavy. And especially if you're going to carry one in the chamber with no safety, and especially if you're going to put it in something like a deep concealment holster in your pants where there is no plastic guarding it, and you just have material between you and the trigger, I feel safer having that double action only. In addition, if you were holstering it in some Kydex or something all the time, and you wanted a little lighter trigger pull, this will half cock, so that you can carry this chambered half cocked, so it's going to take out some of that trigger pull if you would prefer that. So there is that kind of cool option with it. Also, this gun, Striker Fire, has one of the lightest trigger pulls that I've ever felt. I want to say when I researched it back when I got it about a year ago, they were saying around a 4 or 5 pound pull weight on this Bersa BP9CC. Again, I held both of these guns, dry firing them side by side in both hands. And even though the trigger pull is totally different, this one swings on a little hinge, this one doesn't. So the trigger pull feels very different, but as far as the weight in which it takes to pull those back and get that click, I would say very close to being the same. These are both very light trigger pulls, very smooth trigger pulls, very great trigger pulls. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an information on what the trigger pull is like on this gun, in addition to that fact that you can carry it half cocked if you wanted to. I've added this little North American Arms 22 Magnum on the table just to give you a little variation of size comparison between different size guns. Here in a minute I'll hold them up on their side so that you can see the width difference as well. Beyond that, I think they all, as far as accuracy, I'm not the best shooter in the world, but as far as accuracy, I feel like I seem to shoot equally as well really with any of them. some a little more on than others, but then I'd go around and I'd be a little bit more on with another gun the second time around than I was the first time around. So all in all, I think after shooting all of these guns today, minus the little 22, I'm about the same with them. So I would be more than confident to say to you, no matter what pistols you're shooting with, you know, if you're comfortable, if all you've ever shot is striker fired guns and then you go to a double single action only, that might be a little bit of a handicap. But other than that, you should be able to, with practice for sure, shoot just as consistently with this gun as you would with any other gun that you shoot well with, I would say. In addition, I did put on the tactical light at one point just to see if it stayed on solid, all that. It did. I may do one final video reviewing this gun in which I go over accessories and carrying options. I've got 3 different holsters, one of which is an outside the waistband, one of which is an inside the waistband, and both of those are for tactical light attachments. It's very hard to find a holster that will hold a tactical light on this gun outside the waistband, but especially one for inside the waistband, and I have found one. I've ordered it and it's on the way, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be like. In addition, if I didn't have the tack light on it and I want a deep concealment, if I'm wearing some warm-up pants or some shorts, I do have one of those, I want to say it's called a smart carry. It's like a strap that goes around, kind of looks like a jock strap hanging in front of your stuff, but it goes around and velcros in the back. It's actually a really comfortable carry option, and this gun fits nicely in it. So I might show you all those features if I do one more video on this gun. That's what it'll be on. With that said, there was one other thing that I did fail to mention in the first video when I was talking about this gun. There's a little piece of metal, and I'll try to get it up closer so that you can see it better. Here, hopefully, maybe, if it will focus it. This piece of metal right here, if there's no bullet chambered, it's totally flush with the gun. Let me try to move it into place here for you. Totally flush with the gun. Okay. But if there is a bullet chambered, it's barely, just barely going to stick out red. So what I'm going to do right now is, just for your enjoyment, is I am going to chamber the weapon. And I don't know if you will be able to see it or not. Again, it's just barely there. Wait for this thing to focus. Okay. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. But it just barely sticks out right there. If you can see that. Just barely sticks out right there. And it's red in that little slit that's sticking out right there. If you can see that. Now I'm going to remove the bullet. And show it to you again so you can see now that the bullet is gone, it doesn't stick out at all. Now I wanted you to see that one additional feature, because I'll go ahead and put the decocker, see how that works there. I wanted you to see that one additional feature because I didn't have that in the first video. And that is an additional feature on this gun that is kind of like a little, warning that you have a round chambered. Although I do think they could have made it stick out a little more because it's really hard to see. You really got to pay attention to see that it's there. And if you're somebody that wears contacts or glasses, you may not even notice it. I'm blessed with 20/20 vision, and it's one of those things that I got to really look. And so I just, rule number one, pretend the gun is always loaded, whether it is or not. And just always go to that default. But that was one other feature, so I wanted to just throw that in there for you. Now we're going to do a little width comparison, just because I do want you to get an idea, to the best of my ability, what these would be like if you are wanting to carry. So there you go. The difference between the Beretta 96D Brigadier and the Compact Carry. And then we'll do with the Bersa. Now the Bersa is a very, very thin 9mm. And it is a single stack. That should give you a little bit of an indication on the difference there. And then of course, if you really just want to get crazy, little baby pocket pistol, which is quite honestly the Bersa is actually thinner than the thickest part of this little pocket pistol. But anyway, so hopefully that gives you a few more facts that will help you in making your decision on whether or not you want this to be the next gun you purchase. This is my second ever gun video, so I want to thank you guys who have watched so far and been so cool in the comments and giving me a break for it being my first time and being so generous with the nice remarks. If you like this video, please like it. If you like the channel, subscribe to it. And again, if we get enough plays of this video, I will be happy to go ahead and make one third and final video on the PX4 Storm Compact Carry about accessories and holstering options. Hey, you guys have an awesome day, and God bless you. Bye-bye.